I highly recommend the 6 Phases meditation from Vishen Lakiani. What is your 3-year vision? What are your dreams there? We always underestimate what we can do in 3 years, but we overestimate what we do in 1 year. So that's why you want to dream in 3 years. Once you have your 3-year vision, then you think about your 1-year goals. Basically, our left brain is where our critical voice is. So we have that critical voice that is screaming so loud. I think the main thing to keep in mind if you want to overcome those blockages is that you have a choice. You always have a choice. You're in control a lot more than you think. If people are feeling stressed, overwhelmed, they feel they need a change, it's for them to take the first action. I didn't like meditation. For me, I was losing my time that I could dedicate on my job. You're gonna get that critical voice I just mentioned that's gonna scream at you.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Success Stories with Mukadas, where we delve deep into the stories behind successful entrepreneurs and business people who can inspire you and tell you their stories, and you can find how to deal with your own situation. And today I'm so excited to have this conversation with Capucine, and I cannot wait to have this conversation with Capucine. So please help me in welcoming Capucine.
Hi. Thank you for having me. It's really nice to be here.
Oh, thank you so much. And Capucine, when I first discovered you on LinkedIn, and I was so super excited because I can see that we have a lot of parallels in our experience and journeys as being someone who is trying to inspire people and helping them to find their purpose and passion, and also as being someone who experienced burnout and self-limiting beliefs and self-doubts. And I want to know about your stories and how you overcome those. And first of all, and most importantly, I want to know how was that moment for you to step out from corporate world to build something that really resonated with you?
Yeah, absolutely. So actually, my story started several years ago. So I left the corporate world. I was a tech manager at Wayfair, which is a big e-commerce company. And I decided to really jump into entrepreneurship. I did that, but in the meantime, I did my MBA. So a lot of stuff happened. So that transition from the corporate world to entrepreneurship was a whole journey. But I think what really led me to do this startup that I'm doing today and create HoloRise, which I will talk about more after, is basically going through that burnout that you mentioned a few minutes ago. And so going through that burnout led me to realize that I had a purpose and I needed to do more in life, that I was meant for something else. But basically that journey started like 2 years ago when I created my tech company, tech startup. It was a delivery app for wine, beer and spirits in London, and created that with my co-founder. It went really well for the first year or so, and we went through 2 fundraising rounds, and after that I started feeling a lot of symptoms of burnout. I didn't really take care of them. We did take a few breaks with my co-founder here and there to actually try to recover from burnout, but the issue is we never really did recover, at least not for me. And I started having so many issues like health issues, pain in the throat, symptoms like I took sudden weight, like 10 kilos in 3 months. So it was like really intense. And I went through that complete hole of working harder because I thought this is what I needed to do as an entrepreneur. But then my body crashed completely. And we ended up closing the startup. And after that, I went to Bali because I needed to completely cut from the world. I was in complete burnout. And in Bali, I met incredible people who taught me a lot of amazing things. And that led me to, when I come back to London, realize that I was meant for something different. I was meant for entrepreneurship still, but I was meant to help entrepreneurs actually get better and make sure they prioritize their health, mental health, physical health, financial health, to actually cross that finish line, which is succeeding in entrepreneurship. So it took me a journey to feeling burnout myself to actually want to help people with that.
Thank you so much. And ambitious people, like a lot of them, I believe, experience this kind of burnout because they feel like slowing down or taking care of themselves is kind of not productive enough. And so they want to spend, like I experienced it as well. I spend as much time as possible for the business and for the things that I'm building on. But we probably cannot recognize or feel ourselves that we are slowly burning out. So can you tell a little bit more about what's the early stage symptoms for burning out, how we can discover those?
Absolutely. So symptoms are going to be a bit different for everyone, but in general, this is what you need to look at. You have mental symptoms, physical symptoms, and emotional symptoms. And burnout, basically, the general definition around burnout is really the exhaustion of mental, physical, and emotional states because you're staying in that constant stress. You don't actually release that stress frequently, and so it builds up. And after some time, you just explode. And that's basically what burnout is. And it doesn't have, I just want to clarify this. It's very important for people to know it doesn't have to do with the amount of hours that you work. It's very important. You can work crazy hours, but love it so much and integrate well-being in the middle that actually you won't burn out. Or you can work 25 hours a week and you might burn out. So it really doesn't have to do with the amount of hours. It has to do with the stress and how you manage your stress and how you integrate well-being, how you take care of your physical health as well. But the symptoms to look at now is, so first, physical symptoms. So some people are going to get sudden weight gain or loss. So sudden weight change. Some people are going to get pain in the joints or muscles, or like me, what I had was pain in the throat. Some people are going to get headaches. A lot of people who have burnout get headaches, especially at the end of the day. So you have different symptoms like that are physical. It's going to look like as if you're getting sick all the time. You have like, you might be wondering, like, my gosh, I'm developing a cancer or something. Those are the main symptoms. My doctor actually thought I was developing a thyroid cancer because I had all the symptoms of it, but I didn't. It was just purely stress. I had so much stress, my body was starting to tell me, you have to stop. So those physical symptoms are one thing. But some people might not actually get physical symptoms, and they might get emotional and mental symptoms. So emotional is going to be like anger burst, or you can have also a lot of sadness suddenly, or you get no emotion at all. Some people start feeling like empty, complete emptiness. And then mentally, you can feel hopeless, helpless. You can also start feeling very drained and lacking motivation, as if your startup doesn't have, you're not motivating by your product at all anymore. It actually might not be the case. You might still love your product, but you're just burning out. And that's what a lot of entrepreneurs go through. So all those different symptoms, like, you need to keep an eye out for them.
Thank you so much for sharing these symptoms because I had experience with talking with people like entrepreneurs who are slowly burning out, and they have huge passion. They are very passionate about what they are doing at the beginning, but after burning out, they lose all the passion and they just wanted to quit. So in order to like prevent this, is it preventable? And if it's preventable, how they can prevent from burning out?
So to prevent it is to make sure you integrate well-being, but holistic well-being in your life from the beginning. So some entrepreneurs feel like amazing at the beginning of the journey, and they're like, no, but don't worry, I've got this. I can continue. Like, I work crazy, but I feel great. Awesome. The issue is that entrepreneurship is a marathon. It's not a sprint. And so the main mistake that I made, and a lot of entrepreneurs make, is that they go full on super fast at the beginning, but they're going to burn very quickly. And so if I give you, for example, two entrepreneurs, the person one is selling, after 5 years, is selling their startup they're very successful on an external side, but they're, at the moment they sign that, they're in the hospital bed with a lot of ulcers, and they probably lost a lot of their friends. So that's one person. But externally, that person is going to look very successful.
Yeah.
The second person is they're growing slower, but steady. And that person still has their partner, friends, etc. They're spending beautiful quality time during the weekend with their loved ones. And they're not selling their startup yet, but it probably will happen in 3 to 4 years. Which one do you think is actually going to succeed the most?
Of course, the second one.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the whole point with actually entrepreneurship. Most entrepreneurs go for the first option because they think everything has to go fast. But actually, the main startups that go that fast is because the entrepreneurs are thinking very clearly and they are integrating well-being into their lifestyle. So they're bringing a lot of intuition. And an element that's super important to note as well on how to prevent burnout is to journal. Not a practice that we've been taught when we're young or etc. Not everyone, but journaling is super important. If you start journaling more and more that you feel stressed, that you feel anxious, that you're sick, like you shouldn't be sick more than once every 6 months. That's the reality. Start journaling, and actually every quarter, as the same you review your quarterly goals for your business, review your well-being for yourself, because that's actually how you can keep track. And you should consider your body and your mental health the same way you're considering your finances in your startup. If that goes to trash, your company will go to trash. So it's really being careful.
Yeah, I think that's really makes sense. Journaling, because I'm journaling as well, and I start journaling when I feel like there is something wrong, because I feel like I'm so stressful and sometimes I cannot focus. And journaling really helps me to discover myself even further. And I'm pretty sure that you had such moments as well. And like, for example, if we don't journal, that we have a lot of thoughts in our head which is not clear, but when you start journaling, a lot of things become very clear. So is there any like this kind of moment you feel like, oh, actually this is what I was thinking about, or this is actually what I believed and I didn't know before I journaled? Did you have such moments?
All the time. That's actually like, it's very interesting because when I journal, I tend at the end of the week to look a bit like very flip pages and look at how my week has been. And sometimes there are weeks where I'm like, oh, I didn't realize how stressful this was. And then I'm like, that's why I feel horrible on a Friday evening. And it's like, it's very important to like journal and actually look back at your notes to understand like things that you might not have realized on the moment. So it's very important.
Thank you. When you journal, so you reflect on what you've done in this week, or you journal on your thoughts. Like, for example, I started journaling about my beliefs, like what I believe at the moment and what I want to believe and like where I want to go. So this kind of thoughts, not exactly the things that I've done before, but also about the thoughts. So do you do such journaling as well? Like, what's the difference, and like how we journal, how we should journal?
So many ways to journal. One thing that I teach my clients a lot who are actually entrepreneurs or about to become entrepreneurs is this reframing exercise. And so that's a journaling exercise, but basically you have 2 columns on a paper. And one column on the left is all your negative thoughts, everything that comes to your mind, every limiting self thoughts, etc. You write it there when you have them, on the moment of you have them. And then the exercise is on the column on the right. You basically want to reframe everything as a learning, or as a good next step for you, or as actually it's not that bad. That allows me to do that in life. And it can be anything, honestly, anything. Like, for example, I got stuck in traffic the other day and really pissed me off, like for like a really long time. And so I had my journal with me on my bag, actually. And I tell you, I was stuck. I was not moving. I journal. I was like, I can't believe I'm losing so much time. I have such a busy day. Why am I stuck? And then I reframed it for, wow, you're getting a beautiful time to journal and to actually practice patience, which is one of my worst weakness. I am very impatient. But actually, I rephrase it as like, see, this is an opportunity for you to practice patience. You've always wanted to listen to that podcast, like you need to listen to it. It's been on your list for 2 weeks. And so I listened to the podcast, and there you go. And suddenly that traffic moment was reframed into a, you know what? I gained something out of it. So that's very powerful journaling exercise.
Thank you so much for sharing this experience, and I think it's powerful. Like sometimes we just like try to blame in the situation, and if we step back and look at the situation again, and there are still things that we can appreciate, and you use that time or that situation for something better. It's like a very powerful technique and practice, and I hope people can learn from this as well. And which is some like I've done things like similar to this, like it's about my thoughts, and it was really powerful. And I was start journaling. I looked into my head, like what I currently believe. And for example, I discovered myself have some self-limiting beliefs, and which is, I thought I'm a so confident person, but I still have some self-limiting beliefs and doubts and some, how you say, yeah, like insecurity. I don't know, like there are so many things that still at present at some point. And then I was like, I believe I can achieve this. So I changed some self-limiting beliefs to something positive, and like I during after this exercise, I realized my belief is like increased. So there is no more self-limiting beliefs or blockages anymore, and I feel like gain energy after doing that exercise.
Oh, yeah.
So I think this exercise is also like very powerful. I just wanted to share add on.
I love it. Amazing.
Thank you. And one of your key like help for entrepreneurs or business people, you help them to align their purpose. Do you like help them to find something meaningful to them, and find them to find their passion, and build something meaningful to them. So like a lot of people struggle to find their own passion, and why is that? Like, what's the exercise or practice they can do to find their own passion and value?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that's the main issue that most people have, entrepreneurs or not, by the way. But we tend to chase the next shiny thing all the time. So we leave high school, we chase a university, a degree, a certification, something. And then we chase a job. And then we chase more money, like an increase to get a car, a house, or something. We're always chasing something that we think is going to make us happy. The main issue is all this chasing will never make us happy, because everything we're chasing are just means goal, what we call. But what we need is end goals. So a means goal is, I want more money. But for what do you want more money? And an end goal would be, I want more money because I want to travel the world, because I want to discover cultures. So then suddenly, does it matter that you want more money? Or if I tell you tomorrow, without a lot less money, you can still get to your end goal, travel the world, and get all these like learnings and beautiful experiences. And so the main issue with people is they're focusing too much on mean goals and not enough on end goals. So the main exercise I will recommend is actually sitting down with yourself and writing down on a paper, what are the experiences that you really want in life? What do you really want in life? Do you want a family life? Do you want to travel the world? Do you want to just like have a lot of dogs and cats? What do you really want in life that's going to make you super happy? Do you want 3 houses in 3 different countries? You have to like dream big. You have to really figure out what you actually really want in life. Once you know that, then it's a lot easier to make a plan and actually work towards it. And you're going to be happy today because you're going to start enjoying what you have today. You're going to know that you're working with a life vision and you're working on your way there. But what most people are lacking today is a life vision. And they think they know what they want, but they don't actually. And so this exercise, and I'm happy to send it to people after. If they want to email me, I can send that to them. I do that with all my clients at the beginning because it's very critical for anyone to know where they're going in life. So it's going to be the main exercise.
Thank you so much. And I think I've heard this from a lot of masters, and especially from Mind Valley. I was a student for several years, and they recommend this, like what you want in life.
Yeah.
And even the author from The Secret, that book. So like what you want in life, and then it's easier to make a plan.
Yeah.
And I've done it, right? So it still took me some stages to find my own purpose and passion, but like now I feel like I'm more fulfilled, like after doing the things that I love the most. First step is like know what we want, and second step, how we do plan, like how we gather or find our talents, and then achieve something, like use it to achieve something we want. For example, I want a life where I can travel like wherever I want, and I go to the store or any like places. If I like something, I can buy it, and I can provide good like lifestyle to even my parents and the people I love. And if my friends, if they want to invest in some businesses, and if I can give them money to help them to achieve their goals, etc. So I want this kind of lifestyle. So I'm not like focusing on money, but I think about lifestyle. And after the next step, how I can find the things that can help me to achieve these goals.
So once you have your life vision, what you can actually do to get there is through, well, I would say coaching, but I'm biased. But the reason why I'm thinking of coaching, it's because like it's very hard to stay accountable and to keep yourself accountable to like every month to your goals. So it's like having someone to talk to for a full hour, like every week or every 2 weeks. It can be a friend. It can actually be a coach. It can be someone close to you. It can be anyone. But I would highly recommend talk to someone at least every 2 weeks on how you're getting on this path, and are you still in the right direction? What are your self-doubts? Because you did mention a lot of self-doubt. And the issue is that we have this concept. I really want to get into this concept because I love it actually, and it helps most of my clients understand all that aspect. It's the concept of like intuition versus critical voice. So the idea is like basically our left brain is where our critical voice is. So we have that critical voice that is screaming so loud. Don't do that. Don't take that path. Don't create podcast. Don't do that. Like go back to a full-time job. Because like you need that safety, that security. Don't be an entrepreneur. You're going to be a failure. That's that critical voice that's always screaming at us. But then on the right brain, we have the intuition. But the intuition, the issue with that is like it whispers. It's like, no, do that. Invite that person in a podcast. And do this podcast. It's like that little whisper that's basically guiding us in the right direction because that's what's connected to our purpose. That's what's connected to our heart. But the main issue with like the education we went through, all of us, is that we keep hearing that critical voice and we never bring up that intuition. And so all of this to say that like once you have your life vision, try to create steps along the way. And you should always look at like so you should dream for what you want in 3 years. What is your 3-year vision? What are your dreams there? Also, the main reason for this is we always underestimate what we can do in 3 years, but we overestimate what we do in 1 year. So that's why you want to dream in 3 years. Once you have your 3-year vision, then you think about your 1-year goals, and then you think as quarters. And then you have every 2 weeks someone you talk to on how you're getting along on those goals. Because you're going to get self-doubt. You're going to get that critical voice I just mentioned that's going to scream at you. And so to get that intuition back, you need to talk to someone every 2 weeks who's going to reassure you, who's going to like ask you the right questions so you stay on that right path. So on top of talking to a coach, I have a second strategy that I highly recommend to everyone. It's meditation. I hated meditation before. But like really, I remember, and I'm seeing my best friend tomorrow. She's from Montreal. And she said to me, 10 years ago, I told her, meditation, no, I'm going to lose my time. I don't understand why people are doing meditation. This is ridiculous. And now this is what I actually recommend. The reason is because meditation is what is actually bringing up that intuition. So you do need a bit of meditation every day to shut down that critical voice and actually open space for that intuition to come. And it's especially important for entrepreneurs, because entrepreneurs, the reason they're going to succeed is because they're going to listen to their intuition. If they don't listen to that, they won't go anywhere.
Thank you so much. And I was actually going to ask like how we can train ourselves to listen to more about our like that kind of whisper kind of intuition instead of listening to something like, no, don't do that, and it's scary, something like that. Now you gave the answer. So yeah, meditation, I benefited from it a lot as well. It not only reduces our stress, and it gives kind of positive energy, and feel like we know what we are, our intuition telling us, like what would be the right choice at this moment. So yeah, highly recommend it as well.
100%. And it's a daily practice. It's like you have to actually get into it on a consistent basis. And if you're lazy like me, which is lazy is, by the way, a really good thing. You just have to really embrace it. But if you're lazy like me, if I don't do my meditation in the morning, I just don't do it. And I'm a well-being coach. So I get it that you don't want to do your meditation during the day. I've been there. I'm there. But what I do is basically as soon as I wake up, I immediately meditate. I don't even leave my bed. When I tell you I'm lazy, I'm real here.
I do it as well.
Yeah, right?
In the bed.
Meditate. Yeah, exactly. Like meditation in the shower or meditation in your bed. Like for me, like I just put a pillow and I sit down in my bed and I meditate for 15 to 20 minutes. And that's it. And then my meditation for the day is done. And that brought up my intuition for the day. And that's it. As simple as that.
Yeah, like sometimes I do have like morning rituals and sit there like have some candles on and like I do that kind of meditation. But at the same, like sometimes if we feel lazy, I would just do it in the bed, and I was like, yeah, it works as well. Yeah. Like it's better than doing nothing.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
It's really helpful. And there's like guided meditation, and also there's like you meditate yourself. Like how you begin your meditation journey, and like now how you meditate, like how people start at the beginning, how they should start.
So I highly recommend the 6 Phases meditation from Vishen Lakiani, the co-founder of Mind Valley.
Yeah.
And that 6 Phases meditation, that's how I started meditating, because I'm a very type A person, always running, always like getting to the next thing. So as I told you, I didn't like meditation. For me, I was losing my time that I could dedicate on my job. So it didn't work. But when I started the 6 Phases meditation, it's like basically 6 different meditations, very short ones combined, so that the whole thing is under 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. I felt super productive meditating, which was absolutely amazing for me. Yeah. So I highly recommend that for people who are always in that busy, a bit like lifestyle. It's amazing. And you can start with that. And they have like even explanation, a blog, etc. Again, you can email me. I can send you all those resources. But then after that, I started developing that love for meditation because I started seeing the results. So now I basically adjust it. There's some days where I know I need to develop, like right now we're redoing a bit like our company. And so I need to revamp completely the website. So I'm going to need creativity. And so in that morning, I'm going to do a bit more creative visualization. And so I will adjust my meditation. I will basically take the 6 Phases meditation, but do it on my own and choose the phases that I want to focus on the most. And so that's how then you evolve and you start loving it and doing it for yourself. But for those who are just beginning, start with guided meditation because it's really easy. You just have to follow whatever they're telling you and then you're done. So it's a lot easier.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I was like following Vishen Lakiani as well. Like he has such a good like recordings that teach how to be at present, how to reduce stress in like 3 seconds, 1, 2, 3. and I told that, like, I shared this experience with others, and like it's like very good practice, and I highly recommend people to do that as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so like you are helping a lot of business people, and like probably there, because you mentioned that one of the key things that you are doing is to help them to overcome self-doubt and self-limiting belief. And like why it happens, like why there is self-limiting beliefs and self-doubt, and do you have like similarities between other like founders and business people?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I see a lot of like fear of failure among entrepreneurs. That's one of the biggest limiting belief. So how fear of failure is then going to like show is entrepreneurs are going to start working like crazy to compensate that fear, so they can tell themselves, I would have tried everything. If my startup fails, it's not because of me, because I would have given 200% of myself. The issue with that is it's super counterproductive. It's actually a really bad idea to do that. And I've done it myself, actually. And I can tell you from my experience, it doesn't work because basically you're going to burn out. And you're going to stop having that intuition. You're going to also stop having creativity. You're going to stop having all the qualities you need as an entrepreneur. So I highly recommend to not do that. But how I basically coach people on limiting self-doubt, etc., it's by asking a lot of questions. That's why I love coaching, because we go deep into where does that come from. And then we're able to actually understand, is it from childhood? Is it from a recent job experience? Is it from just a comment you receive at your old job? Like, it can be from anywhere, but most people, most entrepreneurs coaching, they have this fear of failure. They often also seek an external validation. Validation from their parents, validation from friends. They need to make sure that if they're not in this corporate world getting a lot of money in the first years after university, that their startup is succeeding, because they have the fear of people telling them, told you so. But this is actually not how they should think about it. And so it depends on every person. But then we go deep into those why. And that helps a lot of people, but they always figure it out by themselves. They have the answers in them. It's just really hard to go in that self-reflection by yourself. I would say like how to deal with self-doubt, self-limitation, etc. You can journal, you can reflect on your own, but I highly recommend talking to someone, a coach, a friend, a family member who will actually ask you questions, not try to give you what to do, not try to tell you what to do, but just ask you questions.
Thank you so much. Definitely sometimes we need like people to talk to, and like if we have like good question to ask ourselves, or if people ask us like this kind of reflective question, it really helps like why we experience this, and in your own experience and how you overcame those, how you discovered those.
I went through very deep burnout and depression. So I had to re-question everything. I didn't have a choice. I was at the point in my life where I didn't see the point of living my life. So it was like I had no choice other than questioning everything I was doing. Why was I killing myself? And literally the word was killing, because my health was deteriorating so fast. And I was wondering, like, why did I do that to myself? And it's because I needed to prove things to my family, or that I could succeed, that and to others, like external validation. I had a huge lack of self-confidence. And so I was compensating with work. When I realized that, there is this moment when you, like a huge weight being taken out of your shoulders, because you realize that you're doing that to yourself and that you're completely in control. And most often, actually, your people around you will be super happy for you no matter what you do.
Yeah.
We just put a lot of pressure on ourselves, but the moment we realized that, and that's what happened to me, then I was able to like reconstruct everything. But I had to deconstruct everything first. I did a part of it in Bali. a lot of things that I'm now teaching my clients. But it's about deconstructing everything, going to the foundation of it. Why am I doing certain things? Creating your life vision, because again, that goes into the question, why am I living? What do I want to do in life? And then reconstructing on top of that. Okay, what life do I want? What lifestyle do I want? What new identity do I want? And then we need to create the new identities on top of that. And so you create new habits that are based on your identity, and you create it one at a time. And slowly, but surely, you get there.
Thank you so much. Like, it's like deconstructing things first, and then like better yourself, like you understand yourself even better, and like to plan your future. So in your case, you had like so many degrees, like you've been working in corporate world. You have a lot of like other knowledge, not as being coach, like now you're a coach, but before that you had all other experiences. And I have friends, and I know some people, they feel like, I've done this, like I have studied this for like 10 years and I've been working on this for 20 years. Now, like, they feel like it's too late to change or learn something new and totally give up on something they've been doing in the past. So did you like feel such kind of, did you have such kind of feelings that you're not using your previous knowledge that much, or you are using it at the moment?
Oh, I'm definitely using it. But I could have felt this way. I just choose not to. Again, it's a choice. But most people, they never too late to shift, actually. Never. I know some people who shifted at like 60 years old and they became coach. Like when I got certified as a coach, I was working with this other coach and we're studying a bit together. And she was 60 and she decided to shift. And it's never too late to actually live your purpose and figure out what you love to do in life. Definitely never too late. But for me, right now, like I'm just interesting because it's as if everything I did in my life before, I thought like, what am I doing? Why am I created first a startup to help entrepreneurs like fundraise, meet with other co-founders in Boston in the US. And then I left that company to come do my MBA. But like, why do an MBA when I was already a bit in like entrepreneurship? And then I work also for an e-commerce tech company. But like that taught me how it is to be a manager in a tech company and the reality of so many people right now. And then I created my own startup here and I went through my own journey and I understand what it is to be a super busy entrepreneur in London. And all of that, I was like, I thought I was going in all directions, but no, it was just part of my journey. And now I'm able to use all that experience to basically like coach entrepreneurs and business owners on how to integrate well-being in their busy lifestyle. Because I've been there. I know what it is to like wake up and have so many stuff going on in your life that you're like, there is no way I go to the gym for an hour today, like just doesn't fit. But I know how to integrate that actually, because you don't have to go for an hour. You can go for 15 minutes because there are ways to be healthy in less time and you can optimize things. So all that experience, I'm just using it now actually as a coach. And I think like if you want for a good coach, you should search for a coach who's been through what you're going through. Because that's coach experience. It's not how many years you've been a coach. It doesn't actually matter. What matters is what they've been through. Has it been similar to what you're going through? Because they will get you. And that's the most important.
Yeah, thank you so much. So you combined all your previous experience very well to create something which is unique to you and help people who are experiencing things that you experienced before. It's like such a good combination and good strategy to build on your business. And it's wonderful. And in your next step, so you mentioned a little bit about it before. So how you are, like, what's your plan for your new business?
Yeah, I'm super excited because right now we're building the new company with my co-founder. So my co-founder is a health coach. So he coaches a lot and he worked as a director in a big company, private equity owned company. So he has all that corporate knowledge as a executive, but also like he was a co-founder as well himself. So he has all that entrepreneurship knowledge as well. But he's a health coach, so he helps people, and fitness coach. So he helps people figure out like all their physical health in a way. But it's not just that. It's always an integrated approach, because it's not just about the fitness, the supplements, and the nutrition on its own. It's actually the combination of all those aspects. And so him and I were creating a company called HoloRise. Holo for holistic, basically, and rise for rising beyond your limits. And we really...
Such a good name.
I know, we're so excited about it. So HoloRise is like now this integrated approach of coaching where we help people on a 360 degrees. So it's not only like helping them through nutrition, what supplements, fitness, etc. It's that, of course, but there is also a whole mental aspect, which is around self-doubt, self-confidence, stress management, which is huge, burnout prevention, all of this. And then him and I, thanks to our previous experience, we're also helping entrepreneurs on business coaching. And performance coaching, so productivity hacks, and all of those basically things, and everything that entrepreneurs are like stressed out about, like how do I grow my business from X to Y and etc. So the advantage with us is, with my co-founder now in HoloRise, is that we have that experience of a 360, and we're able to help like entrepreneurs go beyond their dreams, achieve their biggest dreams, while actually improving their mental health, physical health, productivity, and business. So that's our main offer now.
That sounds so exciting, because when I was doing my MBA, I also like looked at nutritional aspect for business people. Like they're like ambitious people, they need a certain type of nutrition, and not only exercising but nutrition. So like now I can see that there are so many business coaches, but I haven't seen anyone who combined with like nutrition and health, this kind of coach together. And that sounds very exciting. And I cannot wait to see like how you grow in this new business. Thank you so much. Like at last, I want to ask you a question. Actually, let you ask a question from people. What they ask themselves to find out like what they want in life, what their passion. Let me reframe this.
No worries.
Actually, so it's like super exciting, and you experienced a lot of like burnouts and self-limiting belief in the past. So you transform these kind of things like which is blocking you in the past to something very meaningful, and let them become your strength, and helping others to overcome these kind of blockages. So how can others to overcome these kind of blockages in their life?
I think the main thing to keep in mind if you want to overcome those blockages is that you have a choice. You always, always, always have a choice. And you're in control a lot more than you think. So if people are feeling stressed, overwhelmed, they feel they need a change, then it's for them to take the first action. And it can be just as simple as telling a friend, hey, I'm feeling stressed, can you help me here? It's asking for help. It's going out and just telling, I want something to change. But it has to be a conscious action. And it can be a tiny action. So if anyone feels this way, they want to change, they want to improve the way they work because they think they work too much and they would love to rebalance a bit things as an entrepreneur, or they're on the verge of burnout, or not necessarily burnout, but they have a lot of stress, then it's about sitting down, take 5 minutes, and just decide on one action. Who do I tell? Do I tell a friend? Do I ask for a coach? Do I listen to a podcast? But what's my one action that actually will make me change something? Because you are in control. Everyone's in control.
Stop doing things that you are doing. Stop burning out yourself even further to do something different. Like talk to people or listen to something. Just change that environment.
And to be honest, I lost so many years because I stayed in that pattern of trying to work more, work harder to make it. But I was just killing myself. And if I had known that I could actually be a lot more successful and have a beautiful, blissful life, if I had known that before, I would have gained so much time and valuable time with amazing things, and I would have done things completely differently. So I highly recommend.
Still young.
Yeah, exactly,
Very young.
definitely.
Very
But
young and doing
for
that.
people to not waste those years, not wait for it, thinking it's gonna go away, thinking their stress will get better. Stress only gets better if you do something about it.
Thank you so much for sharing all your experience, and I'm super excited for your journey. And I'm like, this kind of inspiring stories really makes me happy and excited, because as being entrepreneur and as being ambitious person, I know all the struggles, and I want to help people in different way. And I'm even more excited to talk to people like you, who is helping them to overcome their struggles and build the life they want and they dreamed about. So thank you so much again for sharing your experience. And do you have any last thoughts that you add on to this podcast?
Huge thank you to you, because you're bringing such amazing people on this podcast, and I'm not talking about myself here. I'm talking about other people that
You are
you're
already,
sending
like,
me.
one of the amazing.
But you sent me so many amazing things, and I think this is the key. It's thanks to people like you who allow for people like me to share these methods, these techniques, and hopefully together we have an impact on a few entrepreneurs there who are going to feel a lot better, and they're going to have a few tools that they can take out and use and feel. I just want to have an impact and make sure entrepreneurs are going to feel amazing. So that's my main goal. So thank you.
Oh, thank you.
And oh yeah, I actually have something also, a few freebies for people who are listening the podcast. I wanted to offer for anyone. I will give my email maybe in the notes of the podcast.
Yes.
And if they can email me, and I will offer a free discovery call, of course. But also like
So much for that.
of course. And of course, I want to send them a simple morning routine. So if they really want to get rid of stress, get back control of their life, their productivity, etc., with a meditation that I recommend. So I can send that a free simple morning routine.
wow.
And my co-founder wanted to also contribute. So he's going to be able to send a highly optimized fitness program for any entrepreneur who wants to make fitness fit into their busy lifestyle. So we're going to send that. And it's only 45 minutes per week total for fitness.
Oh, wow.
So if you want to get all of that, email me.
Can I get myself as well?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, definitely. And that's
I would
going to
love
get
to have that.
exactly, and that's going to get any entrepreneur started. So yeah, do not hesitate to email us and email me, and I will send that to you for free.
Oh, thank you so much.
Of
And
course.
yeah, thank you so much for providing all these like valuable resources to my audience. And yeah, that's wonderful, a gift for them. And yeah, see you next time then.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you.